Hey, how's it going guys? Aaron here, back with another TOS video. So today I'm gonna go through more about the new feature, which is the arena from version 13. Right, so I know some of you guys might be confused or still have no idea what exactly to do for this particular arena feature, so I'm here to clarify hopefully everything that you need to know about this arena feature. Right, so if you find this guide helpful, be sure to share it with your friends, and then we'll get to know this arena feature fast, and we can get straight into this new feature. Right, so without further ado, let's get into the guide. Okay, so here at the main page of the arena. So similar to multiplayer, arena have their own spirit, have their own stamina currency, which is vigor, same as spirits for multiplayer. Alright, so same as multiplayer, you get 5 vigor per day, and it's refillable by diamonds. Right, so yep, that's the similar part with multiplayer. So here in arena, what we do here in arena is basically we are Madhead, and we have the chance to torture our fellow summoners, right, by putting ridiculous sadistic stages for them to attempt. Right, hopefully they do not attempt at all. That's the main part of it. And then our job is to take down other people's arena and then claim it to be one of ours. Right, so to explain more of this, let's get into the next page of the arena map. So if you guys are following me step by step and you want to jot down some notes, be sure to jot some, so you might understand more through the process. Right, so without further ado, let's click on Challenge Arena. I'll explain more over there. Okay, so under Challenge Arena, what you see will be five different arenas on the map for you. So notice that these are 5 different arenas hosted by different players. Right, so one arena will be by this summoner, and the other one by another summoner, and they all have different stages based on whatever cards they decide to put in for their particular stage. Right, so with this, the basics of this particular arena feature is that every successful run that you do, you get 10 points. Right, I have not talked about points yet. I'll explain more later in the video, but yes, there will be a point system, and there will be 10 points per successful run, 5 points when you lose. Right, there's a chance you lose, and you lose by leaving the game or by dying. Right, these are the two possible ways that you will lose the particular arena attempt. So every summoner that have access to this particular arena will be attempting the same thing over and over again. So every attempt done by a summoner will reduce that particular arena HP by a bit, right, all the way until it reaches 0 HP. Right, as you can see right here, we have 5 arenas on my current map, and notice that those blue bars are the arena's HP. Right, so the more the better, because that's how much of your arena is sustaining. Right, so every attempt that other summoners do on your arena, the HP is going to decrease by a bit, and upon reaching 0, right, your arena will be demolished, and the player with the highest score will take over the arena. Right, so that is what you are supposed to do in this arena feature. Right, so upon, let's say you are the top scorer of this particular arena, it reaches 0 HP, you are now the new arena master. Right, so you're out there to keep your arena as long as possible. So you're putting in cards of sadistic skills and stuff like that, hoping that it will last as long as possible. Right, why? Because as the owner of the arena, you do get passive points for keeping it alive. Right, so that's the fastest way for you to earn points, instead of grinding one vigor by vigor, by getting 10 points per run. Owning an arena will give you passive points, in which it is 5 points per 10 minutes, 30 points per hour, and then 720 points a day. Right, so arena will last to the maximum of 24 hours, and in which, when it does reach 24 hours and is still alive, you get 720 points on top of the extra per 10 minutes per hour. Right, so that's a lot of points, and that's the fastest way for you to earn points in this arena feature. So battles aside, there are still some other general rules that you have to follow, or pretty much those are the rules that we have to follow when we are playing this arena feature. Right, so first and foremost, there will be stat changes for cards, right? So we all know that dragons have the highest HP, demons have the highest attack, elves have the highest recovery, stuff like that. But in arena, everything is balanced to fixed stats, right? Upon reaching, if your card is fully evolved, max level and stuff like that, the stats are all capped at this particular attack, recovery, HP, right? So regardless of races, right, that will be your stats for arena. So do not worry if you don't have a good demon card, because you'll be missing out on the attack stats and stuff like that, right? Don't worry about that. All cards at max evolution and max level will all have the same stats, right? So you can put in elves without worrying about the low HP, dragons ignoring their low recovery and stuff like that. Alright, so other than that, per run of the arena, you'll be given 1000 base points. Right, base points are used in battles, right? Do not confuse it with the prize points, right? The points that I mentioned, getting 10 and 5 in front, are prize points, right? Base points, battle points, we call it battle points. It is a base points of 1000, right? Your base will increase based on your arena rank, right? So arena rank is found below your in-game name, in which mine is at level 8. My EXP is 73 out of 113, right? So my arena rank now is 8. So yes, my base points now is no longer 1000, because 1000 is when your arena rank is 1. 8 will increase your battle points by a bit, in which it will be utilized more in the battle itself. Right, so last but not least, there will be no seal bosses in this arena feature. So yes, you cannot use Saruman, you cannot use Odin. Michael Lucifer is out, so RIP light teams. So that pretty much covers the basics of the arena feature. So with this, I'm gonna head in a bit deeper about attacking. Alright, so let's talk about attacking. Alright, so for attacking, let's click on one arena for example. So I'm gonna go for the first one on top, which is Enoch S. Right, so upon coming to this page, you can see that the rank of the arena, right, in which is platinum, the one next to its in-game name, right, and then the time left for the arena to be demolished. Alright, so arena can be demolished when the HP becomes 0 or when it's 24 hours. Alright, so with this, you can see that this arena is level 5 and time left is about 6 hours and 50 minutes. Right, and then let's say before 6 hours the HP gets reduced to 0. Right, as I mentioned earlier, the summoner who is have the highest score will take over the arena. So in this case, that will be me as of now. Alright, so you can see my rank, my score is 2720, and second will be 2645. Right, so in any case, someone gets a higher score than me, I'll be pushed down to second, and if the time's up, or when time's up, or when the HP is 0, that new guy will be the new owner of the arena. Right, so there's an example. So upon clicking the arena stage, you can see what this guy have placed for his arena as a defense. Right, so for first battle will be the one on the left, and then the last battle will be the one on the extreme right. Right, so you can see every run will have 5 battles. Right, so battle 1 will be Apollo, followed by Molly, followed by Ursula, Dodo, and then Shen Gong Bao. So you can see the skills of the mobs are shown to you as well. So this allows you to plan ahead to bring what kind of team you want to bring. So other than that, you can see Apollo having 6 or more combos. Molly, you have to dissolve all water runes on the board in order to deal damage and stuff like that. Right, so without further ado, I'm gonna get into battle to show you guys how exactly attacking an arena will looks like. Right, so I'm gonna click on challenge. I'm gonna just use my Satan team as an example. Alright, and let's get into battle. Alright, so we're in battle. So notice that upon entering the battle, all cards are ready. Right, it is made this way so that you can breeze through the the stage as fast as possible, right? In which I'm not going to do that because I'm taking my time to explain this so-called arena feature for you guys, right? So basically I'm sacrificing one vigor to explain this particular battle, right? So what we have here, as I mentioned, all cards are ready and all cards can be activated once per turn, right? So it's not exactly, you can take a look at this the cooldown, right? So note that my Endor is at max skill, meaning it was CD8. So notice that the BP is 80, right? So battle points 80. So as I mentioned earlier, the base battle points that you are given is 1000 when your arena level is 1, right? I'm at arena level 8, so I have a base battle points of 1350 on the top left hand corner. So the amount of battle points you use per card activation is based on your card's CD times 10, right? So Endor, for my Endor is CD8, right? So it requires 80 BP, so 8 times 10 is 80 battle points per activation, right? So so CD plays a big part here. So let's say if your Endor is not max skill, let's say CD 10, so the amount of battle points required to activate Endor when it's at CD 10 will be 100, right? So here, as you can see, Tsuchigumo, mine isn't at max, so it costs 120 battle points to activate. So I'm just going to tap that, right? And then I'm just going to clear this battle here. So above 6 combo should be easy, and I'm just going to try to breeze through this as fast as possible. Right, so that's taken down. It took longer than usual, right? I'm not exactly playing at my best because I really lost a ton of time, right? So notice I mentioned time, so let's go through what we have here in this result page. So as I mentioned, is 10 prize points per successful attempt. So other than that, you can see that total score, what are the factors affecting total score, will be the remaining battle points, number of rounds you took, the amount of time you took for the entire battle, maximum damage, and your highest combo, right? So that will account all together to your total score, right? So the scoring system isn't exactly known yet, but we know that these are the factors affecting the total score, right? So other than that, notice that the HP of the arena went down by a little, and then I gained a bit of arena EXP myself, right? So that will be it for attacking. So with this, we're going to move on to the next section of the guide. So the next part of the guide I want to talk about is the bonus cards, right? So we all know that by now we all know that the total score is based on battle points, remaining battle points, maximum damage, highest combo, time taken, blah blah blah, right? So note that most of the factors are pretty much fixed, right? We can't really control the amount of combos, the amount of max damage. So because of your team setup, the maximum damage you can hit is pretty much this much, right? That's about it, right? So how is it possible to increase the total score earned per run, right? So this is where bonus card comes in, right? So you want to click on monsters detail, right? So here we'll show you a list of cards, boosted monsters, meaning that you do get a bit of bonus if you bring these cards as your team member or team leader. Right, so take a look here, we have offensive members as well as defensive members. So you get a battle point bonus of plus 15% if you bring these few cards, which is, you know, the latest warlord cards. Right, so this part I might find it a bit unfair. You might find it a bit unfair as well. So I feel that this bonus card should change every season, right? So in this season they are kind of promoting the warlord series, in which they do give bonus battle points if you use them as your arena team setup. Right, so take a look at battle point plus 15% for all, pretty much in fact all of the warlord cards. Right, so for defense, you do get bonus as well. So by setting up once you own an arena, and you can select what monster to put in to defend your arena. So all these Warlord series do get a buff on their HP and attack. So you do get times 2 HP and times 2 attack for these two, for the Warlord series. So in a way, it is to promote the Warlord series, and yeah, I have not gotten mine, so my score is just pretty much mediocre. Like, could have been higher if I use all these cards, but I do not have them at this point of time. So pretty much the last important part of this guide I want to talk about is the arena ranking. I know this has struck many confusion among players, alright, so I'm here to clarify this to the best of my ability. Right, so arena ranking. So some of you guys might have seen players taking screenshots and putting them online or in your particular chat group and stuff like that, saying that, oh, look at my team setup for defense, right? I have this card, and the amount of skills I have. So notice that they might have the same card as you, but their card have skills and yours don't. Right? The reason is because their arena classes is higher than you. Right? So I know I've mentioned arena rank, and now I'm introducing arena classes, right? So note that these are two different two different terms, right? Please do not be confused by that. Right? So arena rank is the number below your in-game name, right? In which I mentioned earlier, my arena rank is 8. Right? So arena class is another thing, right? So from my gameplay here, you can see that my arena class is platinum. Alright, so do not be confused. So I'm using arena class because it is the actual term that they use in game. So take a look at here. Class standards are as follows: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, blah blah blah. Alright, so currently I'm at platinum rank, and another confusing thing is pretty much how do you up rank? How do you up your arena class? I'm going to clarify that now. So for arena ranking, the one on my top left, basically to increase that, you basically just have to spam tries the number of attempts in the arena again and again and again, and you accumulate EXP at the end of every run, as I showed you guys earlier, and then you basically just level up your arena rank. Right, so for arena classes, it's a bit confusing because I don't think they actually explain to you in game, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to explain to you guys now. Right, so I kind of just got this yesterday because I did not play the arena feature on the first day because it was maintenance, and after maintenance I didn't bother to try it. Right, so I missed one day of arena, and that actually affects a lot. Right, so how do you increase arena classes? Now, what's arena classes in the first place? Right, so notice that when you click on your arena class, they'll show you the best 5 score of the day, which is your score attempted on other people's arena. Right, so top 1 to top 5, notice that it's not really that good for mine. I have not really played for real today. Right, so notice top 5 scores, and then score of the day 12,090. Right, and then that'll be it. Right, so if you guys are attempting it for the first 2 days, you might be confused and start scrolling at this page and say, but it's not increasing, right? Like the total score of the day is only accumulated based on your top 5 scores, and it's not going to include any other scores. So it's just increasing your top 5 scores. Maybe the top one will be 3,000 and then 2,009, so increase it by 100, by 100, and by 100. So maybe let's say to the max, your total score of the day is 17,000. Right, and then that's the highest you can go. Right, so you might be confused and look at this and say, oh, so how am I going to get gold? How am I going to get platinum? I'm not going to hit like my top 5 score will not hit 30k or 45k, right, for the day at least. Yeah, so how do you accumulate your arena scores? Arena classes is basically for first day, they're going to take your total score of the day, and they're going to mark that at the end of the day. Let's say at the end of the day, mine is 12,000. It's going to keep that. So the next day is going to reset your top 5. So you're going to do your top 5 again. Let's say the next day you get 12,000 as well. So it's going to add on to your 12,000 from yesterday, and then accumulated you have 24,000, and that's how you rank up. So you can't really rush your way through to Warlord or King ranking. You have to do it day by day, accumulating your top 5 scores. Right, so for example, I'll go to my personal settings, and you can see that my current class is Platinum. My current ranking doesn't really matter in this guide. Total score, 44,145. So I'm putting me under the Platinum ranking still. Right, I'm almost to Diamond, but not there yet. Alright, so 44,000. So notice that my my score of the day is just 12,000. Right, so how I get 44,000 is today is my 3rd day of playing the arena. So the past 2 days I've been scoring an estimate 16k score. Right, so my top 5 scores for the past 2 days, let's say it is around 16,000. Right, add on another 16,000, and today add on another 12,000, and that's how I get my 44,000. So you can't really rush your arena classes, so do not be impatient. Just try to score the top 5 highest possible scores you can, and then let it rest, wait for the next day, and then you can strive for a higher arena class. So last but not least, I want to add in a bit of tips and tricks on my side to show you guys how to maintain your arena as long as possible, so that people will get pissed off playing your stage and will not try to attempt it ever again. You know, you want to maintain your arena as long as possible to get your passive prize points coming in, you know. So click on my arena. So currently I have 2 arenas. I'm in charge of 2 arenas, right? And then you can see that this one is the one at the bottom, has lasted for quite some time, and it has accumulated 100 prize points for me. And you can take a look at the one at 100. So the moment you claim your arena, you are given 24 hours, right? So I have 7 hours left, and I still have this much of HP, meaning that no one bothered playing my arena. Right, so you can see here, these are the few people that have attempted my arena, and these are their scores. So by the end of 7 hours 12 minutes, or when my HP drops all the way to 0, Tang Euro will be the one taking over my arena. Right, so the one on top is what I have placed in my current arena as my defense. So you can see first round will be Dipankara, followed by Yun Yang, followed by Idun, and followed by the Jotun Giants, and then Lubu as my final boss. Right, so I'm making this stage as tricky as possible, as ridiculously stupid as possible, to prevent people from clearing it one turn per battle kind of thing. Right, so take a look at Dipankara for first round. Right, enemy only receive damage if 6 or more runestones of its attribute are dissolved cumulatively. Right, so I know sometimes the bot starts off, you know, first battle they don't really give you a proper bot. Hence, I place Dipankara as the first card to cripple players that do not have enough fire runes on their first turn. Right, so that would cripple their number of turns for the entire battle. Right, and hence it is pretty much a success if summoner starts off with little fire runes. Right, so moving on to battle 2. So if they manage to clear Dipankara, good for them. After that, I'm giving them Yun Yang with attribute with a puzzle shield. Right, so notice that this puzzle shield, you have to dissolve. Okay, let's read this. Enemy receive damage only when runestones of its attribute is dissolved in the frame. Right, so not only Tetris shield, but you have to fill the Tetris shield with earth runes. Right, so in any case, they can't fill the Tetris shield with earth runes. They fail to clear this battle in one turn once again. So in which it's gonna cripple their entire battle score. And in any case where they can't clear it in time, they'll get killed by Yun Yang. Alright, so these are the few sadistic cards that I decided to put in. And other than that is Idun. Alright, so Idun here is one of my main crippling card here. Right, so Idun here, enemy receive damage only when 6 or more hard runestones are dissolved. Right, so I know nowadays Fallen Halos are very, very popular. You can see Chesia, you can see Satan, but one problem of this team is that you will auto-dissolve hard runes. That means that they do not have hard runes to dissolve in the first place. Right, so Idun is here to cripple Chesia team, Satan team, and possibly any other team that lack some sort of hard runestones. Right, so if any cards any players decided to on like Yanxi, Himdo, Wenzhong and stuff like that cancels off hard runes, then oops, I'm sorry. Right, so Idun here is one of my main crippling card of my defense team. Right, so moving on, we have the Jotun series, right, Jotun of Purple Skull. Enemy receive damage only when 5 combos are made. First batch only, of course. Right, so this is whereby the player have to spin just 5 combos. Sometimes they will spin wrongly, maybe 4 combos, maybe 6 combos, and that will then again cripple their team number of turns. Right, so other than that, doing 5 combos only, do they have enough damage to take this mob down in one hit? Right, if it's not, then again they waste another turn. Right, so moving on, we have Lubu the Warlord. Right, I decided to put this because enemy receive damage only if 6 or more runestones of its weakness attributes are dissolved. In this case, will be light runes. So I know a lot of people will use Satan and stuff like that, or maybe for my case, I love to use Yogto, right? Giving that swastika sign, and then you can stack and you can burst and you get high combo as well. But the problem is there is no light runes. Right, so I'm using this in case of any big converter burst that have to change the board and give you no light runes. So in this case, they can't burst through my Lubu here. Right, so these are my pretty much my defense tactics. Right, to be honest, I'll be pretty pissed off if other people use this on me as well. Right, in which I feel that this is the main point of Arena. You want to set up a team that is so annoyingly difficult to attempt that people just don't care about your arena at all. Right, hence you can see that the amount of HP left and 7 hours to go before I claim my 720 price points. Yeah. Yep, so basically that's all that I pretty much have to cover for this particular guide. I know it's a very long and lengthy video, but hopefully whatever that I've mentioned in this video have clarified whatever that you have in doubt of this new arena feature. Right, so as I mentioned, if you find this guide helpful, be sure to share it around with your friends. I'm sure that some of you out there are super confused as well. So hopefully I managed to clarify all your questions. With this, gonna end this video here. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. As usual, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.